Reseller Clickbait Podcast, episode 64.
The episode where we find out that Jimmy was wrong and Ken was right.
Which is, yes, finally, it took 64 episodes for you to admit that, Jimmy. And
Well, I mean, it's not easy for me to do. If you know me, you know that's not easy for me to do.
It is not. Man, I'm okay. When you come on the screen there, Jimmy, I got a little bit depressed.
Oh, why are you all sad?
Well, because
it's the last episode, everybody. This is the last. This is it. We're done. Me and Ken can't get along. It's over.
There is a last of episodes, though. I when I saw you come on, and I saw how good your Santa beard's coming in there, looking
right,
good. Yeah. It just reminded me that today, well, we record on Sunday, so tomorrow, when you're listening to this on Monday, is the end of Christmas in July. The Hallmark Christmas movies will be over. There's only like maybe a half a dozen left to watch through tomorrow, so I won't know what to do with myself for the next 5 months until they start back up. So that's always depressing.
I think you'll figure out something to do if I know you.
Well, yeah, I'll find. Well, and I've been listening to Christmas music all month and stuff.
Huh.
And it's just like,
I mean, I know it's a thing. Obviously,
yes.
That's why they play those shows this time of year. But I've never done that. I only watch that stuff in December. It's interesting. I know there's quite a few other people like you out there.
Yeah. I'm Christmas 365, Jimmy.
You're Mr. Christmas.
I like to give you found some Mr. Christmas stuff over the weekend. Bolo alert.
Yeah,
Mr. Christmas stuff is good.
This is
stuff
a reselling podcast, so I guess we should say that. Yeah, Bolo alert, which means be on the lookout for Mr. Christmas stuff.
There you go.
And it can sell really good.
Yeah. So, hey, I wanted to start off the show kind of following up on last week's show.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I already started it off with that you were right and I was
that's
wrong.
Right. Well, no, it wasn't a right or wrong thing. Basically, if you didn't listen to last week's episode, we had kind of touched on what sold videos versus picking videos, and just ask for opinions in the comments. What types of videos that you like? Because Jimmy had expressed how he doesn't really care for editing the what sold videos. That he prefers the picking videos. Now for me, for watching, I prefer to watch the what solds and stuff. So, and it was good. It was kind of almost an even mix in the comments. So I'm just going to go through right here out of the gate on some comments. And here you go. Some love. Nashville Flippers. First comment out. I love Jimmy's what sold videos. Loves the chemistry between Jimmy and Sonya and Mr. Bean, the dog. Yeah. So there was a thumbs up for you. And hey, speaking of Nashville Flippers, tonight we will be on the Skipper Flip Super Show. So look on Super Show. So catch that. If you don't catch it live, you won't catch it live tonight because you won't know about it until. But catch that replay, Nashville Flippers, This Week in Reselling, Super Skipper Flip Show. Anyway, so that was that.
I think it's funny how you say you're gonna say skip but it sounds like you say skipper. So
Skipper Flip. Skipper Flip Show. Skipper Flip. So Jesse Van 743 says that she enjoys watching both what solds and picker videos. Yeah. Learns a lot from both, but the what solds have more of Sonya, Poe, and Bean. So there again for your channel watching what solds. So likes both of those.
Sonya, Poe, and Bean are the stars of the show.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's Postal Mac. Just started watching these videos maybe a month now, and we know this is a friend Greg from the post office.
Yeah. Greg, what's up, Greg?
And so he's not a reseller at all, and is kind of learning about reselling from you coming in and bringing your packages and stuff. Yeah. Really likes the picking videos and the what solds, and then had a note about that what he sees in them, cutting out some of the walking around and just pop up the item, stuff. And that's that's a whole different topic about how people edit videos and what they do.
Well, since Greg is listening, I just real quick,
Yes.
new to town here in Bucyrus, Ohio, and I went into the post office to find out how they would like me to handle handle the shipping and where we should take stuff. And I just want to give Greg a huge shout out. He has been nothing but helpful and nice to us every time we come in. And that's what led to me and him talking about what I do. And he saw the eBay tape and stuff. So I just want to give him a huge thank you. And he's doing a great job.
Yeah,
over there
definitely.
At our local post office. So I just want.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Thank you.
I've known Greg for many 20 plus years. I knew him outside and his family before he was working at the local post office, because I used to work in the town that you live in, and I dealt with the post office a lot and stuff. So I've known Greg. Yeah, super great guy and always helpful. I'm going to say we're going to go to another comment here. And I'm going to go down to, let's go to the Quirky Picker. Because it had a different take on it. It said, I prefer something that I can listen to and not have to be paying close attention to the video, or else I'll never get anything done. So podcasts are their favorites. The only way I can watch someone picking is if they do overdubs to narrate their thought process. So I hear that a lot from people. What's a loophole?
The loophole is the poll. The question was, what do you prefer to watch? At that point, you're not watching, you're listening.
Well, I think that's true, but I think it's also, that is a true, because if I am watching picking or what sold videos, you have to kind of watch the screen, or you want to watch the screen. I am also in agreement. Larry, Way Out One, our good friend Larry, says he is more likely to listen to a live podcast, a live or a podcast. I'll watch a what sold instead of a picking video. So there's a what sold vote for the random, oh, wow, that sells and for how much. When I start watching a picking video, I have to rewind, check the timer, and then comment on why you did not pick up this certain item in a video. I'm the same way. If I am actually trying to work, I'm going to watch a live, or I'm going to listen to a podcast, because there's generally not a lot of, you don't have to look and see. You're not interested in what items they're doing. So if I'm just sitting there for entertainment, I'm going to watch those picking or what sold videos. And I'll go back up here to probably one of the more helpful comments, if you're a YouTube creator, is Paul Philly Flipper says, if you want your YouTube to grow, picking channels is the way to go. What sold videos, you're only hitting the reseller niche, which is very small. Picking videos hit a much wider audience, because there's a lot of people that are not resellers that just like to watch yard sailing and what people are finding. So from the YouTube side, Jimmy, what you're looking at, the algorithm says you've gotta make picking videos if you want your channel to grow. And
if
the
you
viewers
just look at the numbers, I mean, if you just wanted to be that guy like me and look at the analytics and the numbers, the amount of views picking videos get compared to what sold videos across the board is just not even comparable. It's probably in the hundreds of millions to the billions in difference in views. But for our community, for what we do, we have the community. What solds do very well. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that totally. You will, and so I guess you can almost say there's like a ceiling. There's a cap for what solds. Because you're not you're not going to reach much out beyond the community, or and the resellers, where picking reaches out beyond that. I guess I don't know what I'm trying to say, but
neither do I, Jimmy. But I wasn't paying attention anyway to what you were.
Get a little bit of my point of view in on this. That's just a little bit.
And I think the best way that it was described was Chris, Cajun Reseller, had said, what sold is actually how you learn, and picking videos is for entertainment.
Yep.
And he prefers what sold. So there was a difference, there of some people
And that's
like the
where
picking,
I
some
feel
people
like
like the
my
what sold,
voice
and
isn't heard
yeah,
because I watch picking to learn. And it's not,
yeah,
again, we talked about it, not to learn what to pick. I'm watching them to learn how to make and edit them.
exactly.
So I guess for a content creator, it could be an educational video.
True. Point taken. Chris, you can comment on that. You and Jimmy can have all this discussion you want next week. Or no, wait, not next week, not this week, but the following week when we hit the big highway
I
sales
still hate editing them though. Oh my
that are
god.
coming up. The what? So yeah, okay, Jimmy's back on that. See, did you see how I was trying to segue Jimmy
Oh
over
yeah,
to
yeah. My bad.
the highway
I don't
sale
listen to you. What are you talking about?
conversation? But
When did you get here?
so thank you everybody for your comments. And just a couple other quick comments that were in there. Good friend Caleb over at the Old Paths over at the Two Old Guys Reselling. He said, Jimmy, if it makes you feel any better, he only has 31 subscribers. He has no videos and 31 subs. And Jill was wanting to know about what was up with my big club fist in last week's
That, I was like, hey,
thumbnail.
we're gonna do a thumbnail of us fighting since we fight all the time anymore. And I was like, can you send a picture of fist? And for some reason, he sent, and his fist is like,
it's like, I don't know, it's disproportionate.
Like he got stung. He didn't float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. He got stung by a bee.
It looked like, yeah, my fist swelled up. Jill put in there Hulk smash in there as well. So thank you everybody for your comments. We always appreciate that. And that was a good, like I say, a good mix of of a difference. And you're looking at it from a different perspective. You're looking at it from the YouTube creation side and what people, how to grow a channel. And in general, I was just looking at it from what do people like to watch? Not,
I don't, I wasn't though. I mean, I don't want to go too much, I was saying.
No, you did that all last week.
I was simply saying from a creation standpoint, actually making the videos.
Yes.
I think in the video, I pretty much said how much I despise recording and editing them. And that's really all it is for me. Like, if you ask me, why do I hate what sold? It's because I hate record. Again, tonight, we recorded one tonight. And I was down here in the basement cursing up a storm trying to edit and record this video because I was just not enjoying it.
Yeah.
So that's what it's really about. If what sold's got a lot of views, I'd continue.
You would love them.
I would love the results. I would still hate making them, but I'd love the results.
Exactly.
So that's what it really all was for me. Anyways.
So I started to say there about, seeing Chris Cajun Reseller. I think he's going to join us in a couple weeks here at the Route 30 Lincoln Highway Byway sales.
Yeah.
But previous to that is the 127 sales, which is the big buzz, the hubbub. It is the biggest highway sale out there and in the country, and it goes all the way from Michigan down into Georgia or whatever. So we had talked we're gonna hit it here in Ohio. Last year we had went down to Tennessee, which again, another shout out for Two Old Guys Reselling podcast. They're having a big meetup down in Crossville, Tennessee. Go check out their channel, find out information, get some tickets. It sounds like there's going to be a lot of big content creators that are going to show up.
I've seen the list of who all's going to be down there.
Yeah, the picking down there, there's picking everywhere. You're not going to have trouble finding stuff. But to go to their meetup will be really cool. Unfortunately, just not in the cards to go this year. But we're going to hit the 127 here in Ohio.
If you like gas,
yes,
you should go down to Tennessee
and eat beans.
To Crossville for
Yes.
that meetup because they have the world's biggest Bucky's gas station. I think it's the world's
Oh,
that gas station is on
But
steroids.
yeah, Bucky's. We don't have Bucky's around here, and that's the first time I'd ever been to a Bucky's
Yeah,
was in Crossville, and that was it was an experience. It
yeah,
took
it's
a
worth
while
like
to
when you're there, you have to go into Bucky's. Like
yes.
first of all, you roll up, and we're talking. Would you say 3 football fields worth of gas?
Yeah,
Like the
pump after pump
pumps.
after pump.
Like
Yes,
there's like 3 football fields of gas pumps. I don't think I'm exaggerating. Like it seems
is
never ending. It's like an
a lot of them.
it's like an air field, you know, like
And
an airport. I can't get
an
that out.
airfa,
I think I
airfa.
just had like some kind of no, like an airport landing strip of just
Yes,
fuel pumps.
yeah.
It's wild. And then you go inside and it's the biggest gas station I've ever been into.
Yeah, it was cool. A lot of neat products, a lot of good food, a lot of stuff to look at. It's an adventure. It's a destination spot for a lot of people, and people buy those Bucky products and sell them on eBay because Bucky's isn't every place.
I'm pretty sure
Once you've had some beaver nuggets, Jimmy,
yeah.
get some Bucky beaver nuggets. You know, you get that taste and you want some more. And
I'm pretty sure Bucky's is
sometimes
the only reason that ADH Dave is not going back, because I'm pretty sure he spent about $5,000 to $6,000 there last year. Because he gets in there and he becomes like a child. He has to buy every flavor of everything they have. It's just yeah. So I mean, I'm pretty sure that's why he's not going.
So that's going to be fun. I'm excited about the 127. To hitting those sales. We got I got some information, Jimmy. I'll tell you off the air. Got some information about maybe some directions to go.
Right.
When we're hitting that. So that'll be this coming week, Thursday. I forget if it starts. Is it actually Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, something like that, or is it Wednesday?
There's 4 days. I mean, yeah, because I went Crossville. I was picking on Thursday. Yeah, so it starts on Thursday. Yep.
So that should be cool. And then again, the following week, the Route 30 sales, which runs through right near our area,
through my town.
It runs right through
Bucyrus. Yep,
that's true.
Yeah,
so and to hopefully have the Chris Cajun with us. That will be a blast. And I'm thinking about a little Ohio, kind of an Ohio meetup, or if somebody else is in the area. If somebody's hit me up on the IG, we'll put my IG in the link there. If you're listening and we're thinking of a little meetup, and just have a cookout, your general cookout fare, hot dogs, hamburgers, baked beans, that sort of stuff. And so if you're going to be around the area, let me know, and I'll let you know what some of the plans are, and some of the folks I'm going to be reaching out to.
It's all a trap, folks. It's all a trap.
It is.
See, he invited me out here last year.
And now Jimmy is also an Amway salesperson.
Exactly.
What have you heard of it? No, I don't.
At least I'm step 2 in the pyramid.
That's right. So yeah, a lot of interests.
Y'all will be step 3 if you come out. You'll be step.
That's
3
right.
In the pyramid.
We'll get that pyramid going there. So yeah, hitting sales. Did you hit sales this week, Jimmy? What kind of sales did you?
I did. I actually hit. It was hit or miss, but I had a really good estate sale that I hit.
Oh man, it was hot. It was Thursday, Friday. It was brutal out there. Now I never complain about heat. No, I think the one day Friday that we were out, it was my second favorite weather condition.
Air conditioning?
Is the heat advisory. The heat advisory. My number one favorite weather condition is the drought. Day after day of hot, dry weather. It's predictable, and I don't mind how hot it gets. It's great. And then heat advisory. I think that's number 2. And we had one of those on Friday when we were going to be out to the sales.
We got we experienced a whole lot of everything this weekend.
Yes.
It was hot, and then we got rained on while we were
Yeah.
picking. It torrential downpour. I was
Yes.
soaked, but we were still going to garage sales, still
Yeah.
picking. I actually found a really good find, a Samsung security system with all the
Nice.
cameras and everything there, brand new, for $60.
Sweet.
It's fun. That's one of my favorite things to sell, and I don't talk about it a lot. If I can find them, I love to find a security system and part it out. Like
Yeah.
you will never see me sell one whole. I will never
Uh-huh.
buy a security system and sell it as in a complete set. I am opening
Yes.
up this box and I'm selling the cameras and the wire harnesses, each camera with a harness and a hardware kit, and then I'm selling the DVR separate. I'm parting that sucker out. They sell fast, they sell great, and I paid $60 for that. I'll get $60 for one camera. Like,
Yes.
I
Yeah.
love parting, and it's Samsung, so it's a good brand for security systems.
Yes.
And that was my favorite. And I found that in the rain. Like, I was under a canopy,
Yes.
water's just spilling over the sides while I'm buying this, and I had to run back to the car with it. Yeah.
Wait,
So,
you ran back to the car with it?
I mean, let's be honest. I was
My safe money says the box is all wet now.
It is actually, yeah. No, it had actually already got a little bit of moisture on it from the rain. It's not. I've already taken it out. Everything was brand new inside, though. But yeah, I did. I don't run. You're right. Thanks for sharing that. Reminding me that yes.
Yeah, Schwan. Is it Schwan or Swan?
There's
is
no H in
another.
it. It's Swan. Schwan.
It's Swan. It
Your
is
Schwartz is as big as
just. Yeah. Made a Schwartz.
He turned into Sean Connery's all self-reliant.
The Schwartz Swan. Yeah, Swan. Swan is another good
Swan is a really good
brand
one, yes.
of cameras. I had looked at a set here recently at a yard sale. And the guy's like, "Oh yeah, it's all in there and it works." The guy tested it out. It was like a 11 camera system.
Oh wow.
And all the wires. And then he's like, "It's gonna be my son got it all out and tested it." And then we opened the box. There ended up to be only like 5 cameras in there.
Oh man.
And it was and they wanted like a ridiculous amount. Yeah, parting it out is the way to go, because I have done that. Well, the first video camera system that I bought, Jimmy, was when you were here at the Route 30s last year.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
and we saw it, and it's like, hey, let's make a deal on it. It wasn't even a Samsung or
it wasn't even a great brand, but I'm guarantee you did good on that.
And I did, and I parted out all the cameras with a wire harness, the head unit itself, and good bolo there to look for is security systems.
The wire harnesses, even if you find a wire harness for a security system, that's worth $20 to $30 if it's the right brand. Yeah.
Yeah. I sold the additional there were extra mounting brackets for the cameras. Like each camera I sold with the mounting bracket that was with it and its individual cable, but there were extra like swivel brackets for the cameras and I made a lot of profit on that one.
So this is another great. Good. I love that we're a reseller podcast and we're talking reselling stuff, because that's great information right there, folks. And I'd love to sell that. I mean, it's right up there with toys and video games for me. I don't know why I really like get excited when I find one of those and can part it out.
Yes, agreed. So there's a bolo. What else did you find?
We went to a really fun estate sale. And this was one. It was only on Saturday. It was like 25 minutes north of our house, which me and Sonya both were like, "Well, this is the first time we've gone directly north."
Yes,
like we've gone every direction: northwest, northeast, west, east, southwest, southeast, south. We've gone every direction, but we've never gone directly north from our house till this last Saturday, which was yesterday for us. And it was an estate sale that was being run by the family, and it was in a small town in an old house. and there were no pictures or anything. It just said estate sales Saturday only, starts at 9 and whatever. And so we got there half an hour early.
Okay.
And we went to get in line, and they were like, "Oh, come on in and shop." Okay.
Perfect.
And there was already one lady in there shopping, just her. And it was nothing but old. Like, I found Dale Earnhardt t-shirts from the 90s. I found the 80s NASCAR shirt.
Sweet.
Polly Pocket, vintage Chicago roller skates, vintage Halloween decorations, like really old stuff.
Yeah.
Some Barbie stuff, like just all old stuff. A brand new vintage reel-to-reel in the box, never even been out of the box.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like the whole system, brand new.
Sweet.
And we walked out, and that's just, I think the best find, an old slot car set with 3 slot cars in it. I haven't even looked this up yet, but it's old. It's like the good stuff.
Nice.
We paid $80 for everything. And
that sounds cheap, actually.
I'm pretty sure one of the slot cars, just because I'm going to part that out too. I love parting those out. Yes. One of the slot cars will go for over 100, and we'll be in the profit after one. And there were 3 cars in that set, and one of the cars I looked up I already know is worth over 100. And that's just that's just the tip of the iceberg. That we filled up the car. Like,
that's pretty cool too, because an estate style sale that wasn't an estate sale company, just a family trying to get rid of stuff. Those are the gold mines. Those are the ones they're just trying to clear out a house. And
the story was, Mom had passed away a while ago, and Dad had been living on his own, and Dad decided to go live with them in Florida. And he's already in Florida, and they're just back here. And it was a really old, really bad shape house. There's some moisture issues that we have to deal with. I've noticed that out here.
Yes.
But you can just take the stuff out of the boxes and it's still in really good shape, right? So, they were just here like, we have this stuff. We're here for one day to get rid of this stuff. So take it.
Yeah.
This is how the negotiation went. We had everything on the table. He's like, "How about $100 for everything?" I hesitated for 2 seconds and thought about it. He said, "Do 80." Like, he talked himself down. I was like, "You know what? Good, we'll do it." And here's $80. Because he was like, "I'll show my poker. I'll show my hand. Like, I have a terrible poker face. This stuff's going to the thrift if you don't take it."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay,
that's
$80 is cool." So
that's cool.
Yeah. So it was a great set. It was fun. Sonya loved it. Sonya is a way better picker than me. I'll say that for sure.
I'm really good. Agreed.
And what I mean by that, I know you're going to be a smart butt about this, but no, what I mean by that, Sonya will dig into everything. She'll open every box, turn over every stone, every leaf, whatever. I'm scanning, and I will find good stuff just by scanning.
Jimmy's a skimmer.
Skimmer, exactly.
Jimmy Skimmer.
I'm not slimmer. I'm skimmer. Yeah. No, so Sonya's and she has so much fun doing that.
Yeah.
And so she found a lot of good stuff.
That's a big part of it too. Yeah, is enjoying that. If you're excited about the items that you're finding, you're excited about listing them. You're excited about, and even more about selling them for sure.
With how animated I was just now, could you tell I was excited?
I could tell. I was actually internally smiling, thinking, "Oh, here, he's up forward. Look at him. If you're watching on YouTube, he's up forward in his seat. He's next to the mic, and he's like, "Oh, this estate sale was all this cool stuff." And that's what it's, that's the of course the sourcing part is always the fun part of reselling. Now
there's a funny story behind, a little bit of funny story behind it.
Okay.
Because me and Sonya had a little spat that morning. So Sonya has a really bad short-term memory. I think she would be more than willing to admit it. She's not here to defend herself right now, but I think she would be. Okay. Because the night before, she said there's an estate sale in Tiffin, which is a town in Tiffin.
Tiffin, the one with the 52 house community sale that Jimmy tried to send me to.
So she told me the night before that this estate, we'll talk about that in a second. She said there's an estate sale in Tiffin in the morning, and it just popped up on Facebook. And she's like, I'll screenshot it and we'll go. I was like, all right, well, we'll start there tomorrow. And then from there, we'll look for yard sales in Tiffin.
Yeah.
Because we liked Tiffin. So we get up that morning and she's like, so what are we doing today? On Saturday morning. What do you mean? She's like, well, what's the plan for today? And I was like, we're going to that estate sale that you told me about last night. What do you mean? What are you talking about? And I was like,
oh.
And I was like, you know, the estate sale in Tiffin that you told me about last night that starts at 9? And she's like, well, I mentioned a community sale. And I was like, no. You told me about an estate sale in Tiffin. And she's like, I don't remember. And I was like, oh my God. She's like, well, I was like, check your screenshots. And she couldn't find the screens because she has like 60 screenshots for the weekend. She's trying to find this one. And so like, I was like, all right, well, let's just go to Tiffin and look for yard sales. Is what I was saying. I was like, no, you know what? I'm going to try to find that estate sale.
Yeah.
So I go into Facebook and I type in Tiffin estate sale and I can't find it anywhere.
Yeah.
And then just when I was about to give up looking for it, I see an estate sale in a town called Attica.
Yes.
That's on Tiffin Street. So
it
wasn't in the city of it wasn't in the city of Tiffin. It was in Attica.
That's where the confusion
And
was.
I found it and I was like, well, here it is. Here's what she found. And I see it says Saturday only, 9:00. No pictures at all.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, do we go? No pictures. No. I was like, and I saw, it's closer than Tiffin. It's only 22 minutes away. So I was like, let's just go there. And then and Tiffin's on the way. So I was like, or after Attica's on the way to Tiffin. So I was like, let's go to Attica and then we'll go to Tiffin. So fortunately, I found what she was talking, and I can't even express it. I was like, you really don't remember that conversation the night before? She was like, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like, Jimmy tried to send me to Tiffin. You know, he's still a bit salty. He's still a bit sour about the whole him going to we talked about, I think last week, where there was a community sale with 42 confirmed addresses.
Am I the one that's salty though? Am
I? I think so. Well, let me finish the story and we'll find out. And then there was a sale right in my town that was only like 14 or 15 addresses. So you're always going to go to the 42. Well, the 42 sales were a flop. It was no good. It was horrible. And I did really good in the community that I went to with only like 14, 15 sales. And so Jimmy and I haven't been sourcing because I've been talking about how I'm trying to convert my office over in my garage, and I didn't go out last week because I was running wires and new plugs and stuff. And so Jimmy sends me a text. He says, hey, there's a 52 house sale in Tiffin. You should go. And I was like, oh, cool. Are you going? He's like, no, I have to stay home and run some new electric in my garage, and trying to divert me. And but I did end up going to a community sale in a little town called Richwood because Jill had came over because we had other errands to run that direction or farther past Richwood. Jill was doing a Facebook marketplace pickup of some stuff that she had got.
Bowling balls. They were bowling balls.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah. Speaking of that, I sent Jimmy a picture. Yeah, of course. Okay, it's a community sale, and we're on this one street, right? We pull up, and there's a house, and across the street there's a house, and then down it's like a cul-de-sac, and there's a house and house. There was probably half a dozen, 6 or 7 houses on this street that were having sales.
Yeah.
So we park, boom, right in front of the first one. The very last house in the cul-de-sac, Jill decides to buy 2 bowling balls that weren't even for sale. One of them was like on somebody's rack behind where the tables were. And Jill goes behind the tables, picks up the bowling ball. And she's like, is this for sale? And it is like, well, no, I wasn't really, you know what? I'll get rid of it. Yeah. And then, so we're trying to haggle on a price. She's like, well, how much will you give me for it? I'm not really sure. And I said, well, let me tell you this. She gets these bowling balls all the time, and usually we try to pick them up for, a couple of bucks, $1 or $2. And he's like, oh, I've got this other really cool one right here too. And so
Matter of fact, I used to own a bowling alley.
Yeah. I've got shoes galore in the back. But it's so she wants $5 a piece. She said I'd take $5 for them. She wasn't very happy about a buck or two.
Yeah,
And she said I'll take $5 for them. And Jill's like,
that's
is that $5 for both or for each? And she's like, well, I'd kind of like to get $5 each. And again, just like you did, Jill kind of just for a second kind of hesitated.
yeah,
And the lady's like, I'll tell you what, take them $5 for both of them.
yeah.
So
Because
of
it's hard to
course,
get rid of bowling balls. It's not easy to
now
sell
I
bowling
have
balls.
to carry, and they didn't have bags, they didn't have shoes, they didn't have any, they
That's
were
why
just
we
two
we
bowling
just
balls.
love Jill because she buys bowling
Oh,
balls and then makes Ken
yeah.
carry them.
I'll have to send you a picture later, Jimmy. Remember when we went to the Route 40 sales with FJ Treasures came
Yep.
down?
Yeah.
And the very first sale we went to, Jill bought the biggest piece of
Yeah.
furniture,
Yeah. Yeah.
like it was a bench made out of a door. She put that, she's got that displayed now on her front porch,
Oh, nice.
and she made this flower display inside an old like Coleman thermos, like drink thing. It's really cool. I'll send you a picture.
Yes.
Maybe I'll even put it on the Instagram so
She's
other
a
people know what I'm
crafty
talking about.
repurposer.
But
Is that how you say it?
probably, yes, she is a crafty repurposer for sure. One of my favorite pickups.
You're a crappy.
You're
You're a crappy reseller.
exactly. I bought a set of floor mats, Jimmy. You also turned me on to floor mats. And because I look over at this sale and I see a
WeatherTech, baby. WeatherTech.
WeatherTech box.
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't
And
even
so
know
boom, I
that.
see the WeatherTech, but on top of it is just regular floor mats.
Yep.
They're but they're on the person that got a new car, got some WeatherTechs, took their original OEM mats out,
Yep.
and they were just getting rid of that with the box as well. And there's no price on them. I asked the lady what she wanted for them. She's like, I don't know. What do you want to give me for them? And I said, well, I want to give you $1, but what do you think? And she's like, oh, sold. And I'm like, oh, come on now. I said, I was just kidding. I figured you would counter. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
She's like, nope. She said, now they're in your garage and not in my garage. Boom.
Well,
and so I looked them up. They're probably about they're for a Chrysler Pacifica. It's the full set. The 4 still has the clips on the back.
Oh, yeah.
They're probably about $60, $70.
Well, I'm going to
good
use
sell-through rate.
To segue into what I think you wanted me to go with.
What's that?
Ken always tosses up like
these
a wiffle ball for
softballs
me to hit a home run with, and I always forget to swing.
Yeah.
I want to talk about a sale that I did go to in Tiffin.
We're going to play T-ball next week, Jimmy.
T-ball. We're going to simplify it.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm
not going to segue anymore.
Hey, Jimmy, here's the part where you talk about the eBay items at the yard sales.
Yeah. So
go.
Well, I got 2 sales to talk about. Look, I did a baseball for 2. I went to a sale on Wednesday. There was like a rare sale popped up in Tiffin, a town that so we ended up going to Tiffin for the first time on Wednesday and really liked Tiffin, even though this sale didn't make sense to me. It's the best way I can describe it.
Yes.
The pictures for this garage sale were amazing. Video games, action figures, and I went there expecting that things were going to be priced high.
Yes.
I didn't know if I was going to be. I thought maybe I'll be able to find something, but I was like, we'll still go check it out. I mean, he had a ton of good stuff.
Yes.
We get to the sale, and I start looking through his video games and through his action, and we're talking just tables and tables of video games and action figures in the package and out of the package. Really good Super Nintendo games with the boxes, Sega with the boxes, blah, blah. And so everything's priced at eBay or higher.
Okay.
I mean, and he knows what he's doing. Like, he's a seller. Everything's priced right, exactly at market or even a little bit higher.
Yes.
And so I'm like, okay, so now that I know that, and he's talking to me. He's a nice guy. Sure. He's talking to me, and he's like, so I finally just break the ice, and I'm like, well, I'm a flipper. I flip. I sell online. So these prices are too high for me. But I told him I respect the hustle.
Yeah.
I respect you as a seller. So, if you don't mind, I'm just gonna ask you a question, or no, we can just now openly talk about that. And he's like, "Oh, you sell online?" I was like, "Yeah, I sell online." He's like, "Well, I sell on eBay too."
Uh-huh.
And then he shows me like a glass mushroom weight that he sold on eBay recently. And
Okay.
I know that stuff sells, and I know it does nicely on eBay. But then I had to ask him, like, because it doesn't make sense to me. The sale didn't make
Yeah.
sense to me. I was like, why don't you have this stuff on eBay? And
Yeah,
I
exactly.
and I told him, I was like, if I listed this, and we're talking hundreds of video games, and all
Yeah.
good titles, and all good titles. If I had this stuff listed on eBay, within 2 months' time, I would have sold every single piece, and I
Yeah.
would have made a ton of money. So, like,
Yeah.
why don't? And then it didn't. And Sonya can verify this one, and she said that didn't make sense. He said, "Well, I don't list
Yeah.
anything under $20 on eBay." And I was like, "Well, you got a Super Nintendo in the box on your table right here that you're asking $300 for.
Yeah.
That's more than $20." Like,
Yeah.
so it just didn't. You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah, to
didn't
set
make
up a
sense.
yard sale, to set it up and tear it down, or set up over at their flea market there
Yeah,
in a little town where your audience is so
yeah. The
small,
global
you're
market.
not going to sell those items to to somebody. You're going to pack it all up and take it home,
Yeah,
where you might as well list it.
right.
I don't understand those. I don't understand those types of sales either. It makes zero sense, just like you said.
These are definitely made up numbers. I'm making these numbers up,
Yeah.
but I would say 90% of yard sale shoppers are two different kinds of people. I know that this math is getting weird, but 90%
Yes.
are two different kinds of shoppers. Bargain shoppers that want to get a really good deal, or
Yep.
resellers.
Okay.
So that makes up
Yep.
I feel like that makes up 90% of your yard
Okay.
sale shoppers. Then there's 10% that are the collectors that want the items, or
Okay.
the other 10% is either collectors or decorators that are willing to pay up. A
Yeah.
decorator will pay up for one specific item that they can decorate their entire house around. And
Yes.
then the other one is a collector that will pay up because they found something that they want to add to their collection, and those people literally walk up to sale, look for what they want. If they can't find it, they leave.
Yes.
So I think your chances are so slim at a yard sale. So, yeah, I think so. It's just,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't get it.
He should be selling that stuff on eBay. If you're going to have eBay
Right.
prices on it,
A,
might as well sell it
a
on
Super
eBay.
Nintendo with a box that's in okay condition in the box is not worth $300.
Yeah.
And then why I said that to you and said that to Sonya and to him is that I would have sold that whole table
Yeah.
this last summer. It hasn't been a year.
Yeah.
Maybe it's been a year ago. A year ago, last summer, I bought an entire video game collection.
Yeah.
And I listed it all on eBay. I don't have a single piece of that collection left, and I
Yeah.
haven't had a single piece of that collection for 5 or 6 months because it
Yeah.
all sold so quick when I listed it. Even the average or below average titles have all sold. I've sold it all.
Yeah.
And that's
Which
my whole point.
the kooky thing is that he already is an eBay reseller. He
Yeah.
sells on the platform already. Just list the stuff. And then you were telling me you went to another sale that
And I
in
deleted
Tiffin.
the footage. A rookie YouTuber mistake. My SD
Yes.
cards were full, so right when I was done, I went in there and I deleted the video from that yard sale. But I was at this yard sale. Sorry, because I know where you were going to ask me.
Yeah, we've established that you were
Sorry.
at a yard sale.
I'm getting
Go
all
ahead.
hyped up.
Yes.
And Sonya didn't really notice what I noticed. And when we left, she's like,
Yes.
really? I was like, Sonya, I can't even express to you. Like, every single item there had this lady spent so much time printing out eBay listings.
Yes.
Everything in this sale had an eBay listing taped to it with a highlighter of what it sold for or what it was on what it was listed on eBay for, and
What it
then
was listed for.
yeah, and then her
Yes.
price below it. And
Yeah.
then so like an example was like this was on eBay for 80 or 90. I'm asking 80.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of funny because it was the guy out there, the husband was out there,
Uh-huh.
and he was like, you know what, make me offers. I told her this stuff's got to go. It's the last day. This stuff's got to go. And I'm like, I'm not even going to make you an offer. Like this violin, it's a nice violin. It's a $200. It was a $250 violin because I looked up the sold comps, and she had 300 on it with the printout.
Yeah.
And the $300 listing, even though it's only selling for 250.
Yeah.
Furniture had Wayfair printouts on it, like, and I'm just like thinking. I told someone like this lady, because now I know it's a lady because he told his wife it's got to go. Time to start taking offers. You could tell she had hardly sold anything.
Yes.
And I'm just like, this lady spent days.
Yes.
Like she literally pulled one thing at a time, got her printer out and got her eBay page up and looked it up and researched it and printed it and got her highlighter
and again,
out
I would
and circled and wrote prices, and I'm just like,
would really be interested to see if she had listed pricings or if she had sold.
I couldn't say for sure.
Because we all know that is two different numbers almost every time.
I can't say for sure, but like I said, that violin she had listed for $300. She had a $300 printout. That's why I say that. My sold comp showed me that violin was only worth $250. So okay, I mean, this wasn't like 3 or 4 things. She had tables of stuff, and all her furniture. She had everything. It was a lot of stuff and there were printouts everywhere. I just like another one we talked about. I mean, I'm sure the thumbnail will have something to do with that. It made no sense to me. I will say though, she just didn't know what she was doing. She didn't know it.
Yeah.
She thought, I'm gonna have a yard sale and I'm gonna make a bunch of money because this stuff's all worth a lot of money.
Yes.
And then this week she's been telling everybody how miserable her yard sale was, how she didn't sell anything, and everybody wanted to try to rip me off. It's probably what she's telling everybody this week, because that is a $300 violin, but you're not going to get $300 at a yard sale. You're not
at a yard sale. And that goes back to your 90% of the people that are out there are either bargain shoppers or resellers. And if you're only asking a little bit less for an item that's, not going to sell I don't know. Yeah. I don't understand people sometimes that do that put it on there. It's like, this is selling for, or the ones that bought, blah, 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 blah. What am I doing? Okay. The ones that I don't understand is where they'll put an item out there and I go, look, this sells for $80 on eBay, which is probably a listed and not a sold. Look, let's say it's as a listed, but let's say they really sell for $60. Okay. But they have like $10 on it or whatever. These, why are you selling me if the value of this thing is so much? Why are you selling it to me for $10 if you could get
you a deal, bud?
$60 off of it? It just, I don't, because they don't want to do that work.
Yeah. I even had a situation at a church sale this weekend, and we got to get into another topic. So I'm just going to say this one real quick.
Yeah, because
I tried to help because of the church. I want to help them. They had a Wii out there with 3 crappy games and an empty Mario Kart case and a couple controllers, and they had it for $75. And so I told them, I was like, you know what? I'm going to start off by saying I don't even want to buy it. I don't want to buy that Nintendo Wii from you.
Yeah.
I just want to help you by telling you it's not worth $75.
Yes.
Nintendo Wii, you're lucky to get $40 to $50.
Yeah.
I said the games that are with it, nobody wants. And it's got a couple of controllers. $40 to $50 is the top value of that Wii, just so you know.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, it's worth $75. And I was like, okay. Like she disagreed with me, and I was like, ma'am, this is what I do. I can say I know a lot about video games and I sell a lot of video games. I just recently I have a Nintendo Wii with a controller listed right now for $39.99, and it's been
Yeah.
sitting for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's not worth $75. Like, it's just
Yeah.
not. And she wanted to. I was like, I'm not trying to get over on you, lady. I don't want to buy it from you. I'm
Yeah.
trying to just help you. And
To
she didn't
be
want to
help to get rid of it.
Yeah.
And
We do got to go into the sports topic for the day, though. We have to get
yes.
sports talk in. I'm not even going to do a segue. We just got to do it. We got to talk about
fantasy football.
Yeah.
Football. NFL season is getting ready to start here. And last year I played in my first ever fantasy football league, a league that Jimmy had set up with other resellers.
Yeah.
And it was fun. It makes watching football a completely different experience. It was fun to watch, being a Cleveland Browns fan.
I'm sorry.
It was fun to actually watch football again. And so, yeah, we're going to get a league
We're getting
going
the league
here.
back together, folks. We're getting the league back together.
Yes. And we want, if there's listeners here, other resellers, it doesn't particularly have to be another reseller, but we're going to put together.
We want listeners. You don't have to be a reseller. You're right. It's the listeners is the key part. What you just said right there, Ken. If you listen to our podcast, we want you to join our fantasy football league. Go ahead. I'm sorry. That's the key word, though.
Yeah. That's exactly it. Listeners, whether they're resellers or not.
I'm sorry.
So we'll have some links down in the bottom. For to hit either Jimmy or me up on IG. It's not going to be a high dollar league. We're probably looking at 10 teams. We could probably go to 12. So 10 teams with Jimmy and I being 2 of the teams. We got room for 8 to 10 players. And
if you're on the audio side and you're listening, I just want to. We're both going to say our Instagrams twice right here. So if you're listening. Mine is Old School Flips on Instagram. So at Old School Flips, and Ken's is
at SSKPromo. I think it ends up with the 1 on it. At SSKPromo 1, the numeral 1 on Instagram. You can also you could also check the IG or check the comments here. Come over to the YouTube side if you're only listening audio, but you can, hit one of us up and we'll, it'll be somewhat on a first come, first serve sort of basis, but we want our regular listeners, and we're looking for people
this is important right here. This is important.
That are going to participate in the league throughout the whole season.
Yes.
Last year, it being my first year doing it, I was a little bit disappointed as you got a little bit later in the season, because I was doing well for my first year out. I was, near the top of the list, and you would get folks that like wouldn't set their lineup, like maybe their team was kind of out of it. They hadn't won many games. They weren't setting their team for that week against a team that I needed to beat or another player or something like that. And it kind of took the fun out of it when people gave up. So, whether, people that want to be active and participate in the league for the whole season, you don't have to do trades. You don't have to do, all of that stuff with everybody. Just set your lineup for the week. That's what we're looking for.
If there's a bye week and your quarterback is not playing, put in your backup quarterbacks. That's kind of what Ken's. Because it's, again, doesn't matter if you lose to yourself. Does it matter to yourself if you lose if you're not doing good? Probably not. But like Ken said, it was a scenario where he needed a team to lose to get into the playoffs. And the team that he needed to lose was going against a team that hadn't set their lineup for 3 weeks, and probably wasn't going to set it again. And so he basically could say, "I'm out of it because this team is not going to."
I did make the playoffs, though, Jimmy. I did make the playoffs in my first outing, and I think I may have won the first week of playoffs and then just got obliterated after that. It was super fun. The fantasy football was great. Oh, and also rule number 2, which is real close to being active, is I like smack talkers, Jimmy. I like to talk smack.
I don't know if he does. I tried to talk smack with him later.
I like to have fun. Oh, wait. I think that might be
early in the season, you caught me at a bad time.
I did, and
You
Jimmy
did.
got a little
It
bit
was more than it wasn't
perturbed.
just our game. It had to do with people not setting their lineups, and I was
Yeah,
kind of in a bad mood, and so I didn't feel like talking trash. But then later
and
on, I was like, maybe that's my fault because later on I tried to talk trash with Ken, and he's like, "No, I'm not going to talk trash with Jimmy because
yeah,
he's a
because
grump.
Jimmy will
He's
get
grumpy."
upset. Jimmy will be mad if I talk about his.
Well,
But no, I love that because it's all to have fun.
yeah, yeah,
And yeah, it's and if you're gonna, well, we don't want somebody that takes it so serious because again, it's not going to be a high dollar league. We'll let you know if you're interested. You know where we're at with the monies and stuff like that. It's to have fun and participate and enjoy with other
right.
resellers or listeners of our show.
Just to
So
be clear, I was the league manager last year. So when you're the league
yes,
manager, there's a different level of you do have to take some things seriously, and there's a little bit of stuff that you have to work out. And so
yeah.
that's just what I had to deal with. And so yeah, I'm having fun and everybody's having fun. What I was dealing with was league manager stuff. So yeah,
Yeah. So
that's
hit
the
us
only
up
reason I'm saying the stuff I'm saying right now.
if you're interested in that, hit us up and we'll do that. And
Yeah, yeah.
so we're getting up near the I wanted to talk though, Jimmy, real quick about a couple of interesting Facebook Marketplace payouts that I had.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I've been working in my garage to convert the office over, convert it to an office. I've talked about that about every week here because that's all I get done. Um, and so some of the bigger items that were in there, I put on Facebook Marketplace or whatever, and one of them was not through Marketplace, but was it like an inversion table, one of those tables that you lean upside, you hang upside down,
Oh yeah,
stretches
yeah.
your spine
I've
and stuff.
seen that in your garage.
And so it was a friend of Jill's then that Jill was looking for one, and Jill's like, "Hey, Ken's got one." And so it was like, "What's he want?" So make me an offer. She's like, "Hey, how about an RC cola and a moon pie?" And I was like, well, maybe a little more than that. And then so we decided it's like $50. I said,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'll take $50 for it, but I still want the
The
RC
RC
cola and the moon pie.
Yeah,
So the lady comes to pick
you
it up
can't
today,
offer a guy that. Yeah.
and she pulls up in the driver. She's like, "Am I in the right place?" I was like, "Well, if you're here for an inversion table, yeah, you're here for the right place."
Yeah,
She
yeah.
said, "I brought an RC cola and a moon pie." She actually had those with
That's
the 50
awesome.
bucks. And so I was like, man, I really like this lady, because that's my kind of humor. I would
Yeah,
definitely
that's not how
do
I went
that.
then. Ken was like, "Hey, you got the moon pies.
Yeah. Hey,
You got them. You got the Coke and the moon pies."
you
All
got the
right.
moon pie. Hey, what about the moon pie? I probably wouldn't have given it to her. She's driven all the way over here. It was about an hour drive for her to come over.
You're gonna have to go to the corner store with that lady.
But the other one I had these like green plastic lawn chairs, and they were in the garage, and I set them out front. I snapped a
Oh,
few
Sonya
pictures. I
saw
put them
that
on.
listing. She asked me if I wanted to buy them.
Yeah, and the listing was first $25 gets them, and then told what it was in the description. So I had a couple, then just a little bit later messaged me, and so they wanted to pick them up today. And so it's $25, right?
$25 and a Twinkies.
Yes, yeah. I need Coke
It would have
Zero,
been great if you would have done that. First
Coke Zero,
$25 and
and
some
some apple
Twinkies.
cider.
You know what's funny?
So
Sonya asked me, she's like, "You want some green chairs, plastic chairs?" Like, Sonya, do you know what my fat butt will do to those chairs? I've broken more of those chairs in my life than
it was so they show up, and there's an older couple, and the lady gets out of the car, and she's like, it's $25, right? And so she hands me over. She gives me a 20, 4 ones, 3 quarters, a dime, and 3 nickels for
Sonya did buy them then.
yes. And so I got like a handful of change with my it cracked me up.
That's great.
With it. So, two kind of online sales in one day, and they both had kooky payouts
That's
to
Facebook
it. But
for you. That's Facebook. For
and
you.
that's what I'm looking forward to as I'm working in the garage. I'm kind of making that pile of these are things I'm just going to snap photos, put them on there, and hopefully I can get rid of them quickly. Items that I didn't want to ship. And so what else you got, Jimmy?
I know that we have like you said, make sure you go and watch Ray's live that he did that we're gonna go do right now when we're done recording
Yes.
right here of us. It's basically he puts up items and they're kind of sneaky items if they're valuable or not, and we have to decide would we buy it and flip it or would we pass on it. So go back
Yes.
the Nashville Flippers channel and watch that video. Me,
This
Ken,
week in reselling.
Philly Flipper, Paul will be on there. So yeah, go check it out.
Angie resells.
Angie resells
Dustin
is on there. Yeah. And then
yeah, a couple other.
Just next week, I want to talk about a reselling topic that we didn't get to today.
Okay.
I do want to talk about reselling sports memorabilia.
Oh, okay.
And how much that has changed for me in Ohio.
Aha. Okay,
So
that's a good teaser.
Little teaser. Yeah.
Right there. So just a couple of things that I got coming up. Tuesday, 4:00. Ken versus 10. It's the follow-up show with Dan in Demand. Dan is beating me right now 3-1.
How does your competitive
he's whooping me
self handling that? Me and Sonya think you're crying yourself to sleep every night.
It's I've been sending offers. I've been trying to get my family to go on my eBay and buy this stuff. And they're like, well, why would I go in there and buy it? Why don't you just give it to me? Right? Can I just give you the money? And I'm like, no, you cannot give me the money. But we're going to play on the recap show. We're going to do a game. We're doing easy casino games with Dan in Demand on Tuesday.
Oh, yeah,
be fun.
He's a dealer, right?
From a casino background, so that'll be fun. And last, just a shout out to Roman, Anytime Picker, good friend of the show, watches watches our podcast and stuff. He's also an Ohio guy, but I got an honorable mention on his top 25 best YouTube or best reseller YouTube channels that he did. He had a live last night. Jill and I were out actually weeding along a fence line at my house listening to Roman, but I got an honorable mention, and I appreciate that, Roman. I did not hear your name called, Jimmy, but you made his.
He's a friend of your half of the show then.
Yes, yeah. Roman, comment on my half of the show, and we'll catch you next time on the Reseller Clickbait Podcast.